Good evening, everyone. My name is Eddie Young, and I serve Fort Mill High School as our career development facilitator. And tonight we are kicking off Dream December. Now, I know you're thinking, we just got done with No Limit November, and we're back with something else. That's right. We here want to make sure that you know that first you can dream about your future, and then you can achieve it. And I couldn't think of anybody else better to kick us off than my dear friend, Miss Carrie Schmidt. Carrie, how you doing this evening?
I'm great, Coach Young. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
It is an absolute pleasure and an honor. I've known Miss Smith for a while. We've talked back and forth about a lot of great things, and I couldn't think, like I said, I couldn't think of anyone better to start us off with, simply because of her broad range of experiences and knowledge of not just dreaming about your future, but also achieving it. So, Miss Smith, why don't you talk to us a little bit about, how you got to this position right now?
Absolutely. So when I graduated high school, I went to college. I actually went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and then I graduated from Youngstown State University up north in Ohio. I graduated with a marketing management degree, fresh out of school, and I'm looking for a new job. I started as a marketing director for a group of physicians, and then I landed an opportunity with a large manufacturing company in customer service. And in the course of my career, over the course of 10 years, I was like a sponge for information. I wanted to grow, I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. So I was always seeking out more information and talking with, the director of R&D or the vice president of sales or somebody. And interesting enough, the general manager of this large manufacturing facility asked me very early in my career, when I was still in customer service, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to have your job one day. So fast forward 10 years, I had the general manager position, and I was pretty much at the top of the corporate ladder. And once you get to that point in your career, you kind of take a step back and reflect upon everything that you've learned along the way, the experiences. And I think you start to do some soul searching. And that happened for me about 2 years ago. I was making great money, very highly successful, but I just wasn't happy. And
Mm.
so I kind of took a step back and I started researching. I started reading more books, a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And it kind of led me on this journey to looking into life coaching. I never knew what a life coach was before, so I looked into it. And there was actually a program called Dream Builder, and it was facilitated by Mary Morrissey, who's been doing personal development work. She works with Bob Proctor and a lot like Tony Robbins, all of these people. And she had a program, so I took the program. It's called a Dream Builder program. And I loved it. And it's a 12-week program that you can basically apply to your current life and create the life of your dreams, which is what I was looking to do. So I took that program and I decided to go out to LA and attend one of her workshops. And I decided to invest in myself, and I invested in my education. So I took a certification and I got certified to be a dream builder life coach. And then I upgraded to a life mastery consultant. So I invested over $35,000 just in this program and the education and the teaching platform, but it has transformed my life, and it was the best decision that I ever made. And that's kind of what got me to where I am today. I started my own business. It's called Infinite Solutions. And so I do life coaching, I do business consulting, and my passion is really to catch our young people, whether it's middle school or high school or even college kids, and plant the seed in the minds of the youth to let you know that you can create the life of your dreams. And that's what I'd love to teach you about today.
I tell you what, this is going to be a great session. I'm really excited. If you're watching right now and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box. We'll see them and we'll be able to ask them right away. Miss Smith, one thing that you just mentioned that I thought was really intriguing, and I know that this is kind of off the cuff here a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but you mentioned investing in yourself. Talk to us a little bit about about what that process looks like, and maybe how some of our high school students can do that for themselves right now.
Absolutely. Investing in yourself is really, it's all about personal development, and whether it's just reading a book, taking a class, doing something extra to kind of get outside your comfort zone, but gain the knowledge and gain a perspective that can only help you personally, in your relationships or even your career. So it's all, I think everything in life, you should look at how can I invest in myself, and take that extra class, or do something, take that extracurricular activity, because you never know the connections that it might bring to you, the people you might meet, the opportunities that you might have come to fruition that you wouldn't have before if you didn't take the action step to try that.
I'd say what's great about that is we literally have in all of our offices at the high school in the guidance department this little picture that simply says, "Go the extra mile. It's never crowded." And
Yep.
the ability to really encourage our young people to, like I said, go that extra mile. Yes, we know you have a lot of reading that you're doing. Take a class for fun. Read a book for fun, something that might push you a little bit and expand your knowledge. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. And even download the Audible app. When traffic prior to COVID, I was driving an hour to work. I downloaded Audible and I started listening to books online. Instead of listening to music, you can listen to a book a lot quicker. And I'm a, audio visual learner. So I was able to listen to, I mean, I think it was like 20 books over the course of a year that I never otherwise would have read, but just
Wow.
listening. Even if you go to the gym, you can listen to podcasts. There's so much information out there. Just take it. Be a sponge for information. It's only going to help you in your future.
I love it. I love it. Now, and I know you're really hitting on some of this right now, but talk to us a little bit about what do highly successful people do to attain success?
So I'm gonna give you three strategies. There's 3 of 10 strategies of dream building, and this is actually dream building principle number one. So
Mm,
highly successful people begin with the end in mind. So they understand where it is they're trying to go, what it is they want to accomplish. They have visualized into the future that which they want to attain. So, dream building principle number one says that you have to design your dream. Just like
mm,
an architect needs a blueprint in order to build a house, it's the same thing with your dream or your future, career, goals, whatever it is. You have to have a vision. But if you understand the way our brains work, is our brains think in pictures. So you want to have a crystal clear picture of what it is you want to accomplish. So Mary Morrissey will always say you can't get to your dream, you have to come from it. You come
mm,
from that visualization, and clarity is power. You want to be crystal clear, just like a blueprint for a house. If you leave out the stairs, you're not going to be able to get upstairs. So with your dream, you want to be as crystal clear. I do workshops and I say we turn the dial and we step into a time machine. So we turn the dial 3 years into the future. So we would say, okay, it's going to be 2023 and we're coming back for a reunion. And we're going to meet each other and we're going to step into this time machine. And when you come out of the time machine, you're stepping into your life in the year 2023. And I want you to tell me what that life looks like beyond the conditions and limitations. Because too often, I mean, if you think about it, when you're young, you're taught the word no, and you hear the word no, you can't do this more than anything else. And so that becomes your subconscious programming. So I study neuroscience and quantum physics and psychology and all of this stuff just because it's my passion. But studies show that from the age of 7 years old, you have already downloaded a subconscious program in your mind based that is your conditioning based on your upbringing, your environment, and everything else. And that subconscious program will run on autopilot for the rest of your life until you become aware of it. So what highly successful people do is they begin with the end in mind first. They get crystal clear on the picture that they want. What is the life you want to have? And dream big. Like when you were a kid, when you're young, we're able to imagine and dream big. But then as you get older, you become conditioned in your way of thinking. And we want to dream big. We want to dream beyond the conditions and limitations and really just paint that picture of the life that I would love to live, the career I would love to have. And so I ask people, what makes your soul sing? Because you can tell the energy somebody has. It's your vibrational frequency. And when you're happy and when you're passionate about what you're doing, that shines through your energy body. So you want to choose something that really brings you passion and makes your soul sing and makes you happy and feel purpose driven. Because when I was in high school, when I went into college, I was looking at majors that only paid a lot of money. And I
Mm.
think this is something that a lot of kids do right now that I would like to give some advice on is don't just go after what you think is going to make you the most money, because 10 years down the road you're going to step back and you're going to do some soul searching. You're going to say, this isn't really what I want to do. And then you're 10 years into your career and you're having to go back. Um, I wanted to major in psychology. I wish that I would have, because right now in my life I'm studying psychology at home
Hmm.
in my free time after work. So do what brings you passion and really think beyond those conditions and limitations of the outside environment and just dream big. So that's the first principle of dream building, is designing, visualizing, and creating a crystal clear picture of your future dream, and then we'll move forward from there.
That is awesome. And I gotta say, I absolutely love what you just said about not chasing the dollar signs, but chasing what makes you happy on the inside. There are a lot of adults who are going around really unhappy
Yes,
because they went after the big paycheck, and ultimately it cost them. It cost them in the long run. So thank you so very much for sharing that with our students.
that's
Um,
that. It's absolutely true. And I wish I had a professor in college, and that this is one thing I remember from college. He said, "Do what brings you passion," and it stuck with me. It's still in my head. Although I didn't listen to him, I wish that I would have. So if I can get through to somebody today, please do what makes you passionate, not what brings you the money. I know everybody wants to get rich, but when you're doing what makes your soul sing, the money will come.
that's right.
Mhm.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So now, I know we've spoken a little bit about, dreams and vision, but the next question: what if we don't know how to get to your dream or vision? What's the process for getting there?
That's a great question. So when you dream as big as you can, then most people will say, "Oh, I don't know how to do that." So successful people understand you put the how on hold. Okay? We live in an infinitely abundant universe. Just like our DNA is a spiral, we our souls are spiraling to grow and seek more, and we're always just seeking something greater. And so when you feel a longing or discontent, that usually pushes you towards what it is your soul is seeking. So you go after that, but you put the how on hold, because the universe works in a lot of different ways. Some things will just come out of the blue, or you'll get a phone call from somebody and you'll be like, "Oh, wow." I don't think it's luck, it's not coincidence. It's the universe working in your favor when you're making the right choices, when you're speaking. I tell my clients to always visualize your dream, your future dream, but then speak it out loud, because
Mm.
words give life to that. It puts a vibrational frequency out into the universe. And everything in the universe is electromagnetic. So your brain gives off electrical signals, your heart gives off magnetic frequency. So it's electromagnetic. So you put that out into the universe, and you never know how things will happen. So you put the how on hold, but then you do something. You decide. And this is dream building principle number 2, is you decide for that dream. The universe will not give you a dream that you're not worthy of having. And you won't have this, you know, soul seeking feeling if you're not worthy of having that dream. So you have to decide for your dream and then take action. Okay. So what is it? And you know, I have clients that'll have a big dream and then they'll get very fearful, you know, because it's big. And I say it's baby steps. Every single day is a blank page of opportunity, and you're the artist. You get to paint that picture. You're the one who decides to wake up at a certain period of time and go to bed at a certain period of time and choose the activities that you do. And you have to understand that where your attention goes, your energy flows. So
Yes.
where you focus your attention is going to give you the results that you're looking for. So if you're not getting the results in your life, then you want to go back and look at your way of thinking and where you're paying attention to and where you're focusing. Um, so deciding for that dream, and then baby steps. So what's one thing that I can do today that will get me one step closer to that dream? It might be a phone call. It might be, let me start reading this book. It might be, let me decide to take this class. It might be, let me set up a meeting with this person so that I can obtain more information. You decide, you take action, you put it in your calendar. So schedule daily action steps that can get you towards that dream. Because, you know, you can't climb a mountain overnight, but you can take steps each day, and the more steps you take that are small is going to get you closer to that goal than you would if you would do nothing at all. So you want to decide for your dream, take action, just baby steps. One thing I can do today that's going to get me a little bit closer, and do it.
What's great and what I really love about this is I love how you're emphasizing the action. There are a lot of planners, but that fear factor kills a lot of dreams. But knowing that it's okay to take small steps, because I know sometimes, not just with young students, but also with adults as well, sometimes there's this belief that we have to have it all figured out right away, or that we have to immediately arrive. But I love how you're really pushing, hey, just take one step today and another step tomorrow, and just be consistent with what you're doing.
That's the key, is consistent action over time will get you that result that you're looking for. But most people stop because they don't have it all figured out. You don't have to have it all figured out. It comes, you know, baby steps every single day. It's going to get you closer to that dream.
That's right. Now, can I ask you a tough question?
Absolutely.
Let's say that we're taking our baby steps and we think that we're getting closer to achieving our dream, but we're not. You know, what if I fail?
That's a good one. Those what ifs, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so this is dream building principle number 3, and it is befriending your fear. There is not one successful person on this planet that did not fail. I think it's Thomas Edison tried 9,999 times before he was able to get the light bulb to work. And it was that one time. So if he would
Mhm.
have given up, you know, who knows how long it would take us to have electricity. But it's taking that action in the direction of that dream, even when other people might say, oh, you can't do this. Who knew that Facebook was going to blow up and transform our world? You
Right.
know, who knew that Steve Jobs and Apple was going to do all of the things? If you think of all of these highly successful people, they took action on something that most people said you couldn't do, and they're changing our world. So you want to befriend that fear, because change is uncomfortable for anybody. Okay. And when you step outside of your comfort zone, it's scary. You know, there's fear, doubt, and worry. So, fear of what if I fail, doubting yourself that, oh, I might not be capable of this, or worrying about what other people are going to think. Okay. So, those 3 things you need to just take in your little bucket and hug it, because the fear, doubt, and worry is never going to go away. You just have to embrace it, befriend it, and understand that it's just a voice inside your head. What's holding me back from my own dreams? The voice inside my head that's saying these things. And it's just a way of thinking. So what I teach my clients is there's a law called the law of cause and effect. I like to call it the results formula. And what this says is that your thoughts create your feelings. So when you think a thought, it actually gives off a chemical reaction into your body that creates a feeling. So if you think a thought of, I'm getting chased by a bear, what's going to happen? You're going to have adrenaline and cortisol released into your system, and that's going to create a feeling of fear, which is going to, restrict your blood vessels and all the other things that it does in your body. But it's going to make you feel a certain way. So your thoughts create your feelings create your actions. Okay. So when you feel this way, you're going to run. Okay. And then your actions create your results. So, like I said before, when you want to change your results, you have to go back and look at your thinking. And we think over 60,000 thoughts on a daily basis. Can you believe
Wow.
that? 60,000 thoughts on a daily basis. 80% of those thoughts are negative, and 95% of those thoughts are actually from the past. And that's our subconscious programming that I was talking about. So you want to start to be conscious of your way of thinking and identify when it's just, the voice inside your head that's telling you you can't do something, or that subconscious programming that's telling you, worry about what other people are going to think, and don't do this because you're going to fail. But we all started out not walking, right?
That's
When
right.
you were a baby. All right. So think about it. Every single person in this world, we started out as a baby, and then we looked up at the people, the older people walking around. And we thought, oh, we want to walk too. Right. So then you start trying to get up and taking those steps. And then what happens? You fall down. And then you get up and you take those steps again, and then you fall down. But I don't think any one of us gave up and said, well, I guess I'm just not meant to be a walker today. No, we continued until we were able to walk, and then that became our comfort zone. So, you want to be able to take those action steps to take you outside your comfort zone, because you don't grow when you're in your comfort zone. If you're sitting at home watching Netflix and just on your couch, you're comfortable. Now, that's a lot different than getting ready and going out to a networking event or something where you have to step outside of your comfort zone and talk to different people. But growth only takes place when you step outside of your comfort zone. So that is befriending that fear. Because if you're going to be successful, if you're going to take those action steps, just know that you might fail, but it's okay, because failure is only feedback. It's not, failure is an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to think about a different way to approach the situation, and finally become that walker, or finally have that thing that you're passionate about. So it's befriend your fear. Don't worry about what other people think, because the people that are judging you are the ones that are only judging themselves, and they're holding themselves back as well. So just remember, it's only a voice inside your head, and you can control that thinking, because you're in control of that thinking. And that's so important. I observe my thoughts on a daily basis. And another tip or tool I can give you is to just notice what you're noticing, and start to observe if you're starting to think in a negative aspect, or your mindset just isn't right. What can you do? You can pause. Okay, pause, take a deep breath. Just breathing. We don't realize how important our breath is. You just take a deep breath. It actually calms your central nervous system, and it allows you to focus, regain your focus. So you can really interrupt that paradigm. You pause it, you interrupt it, and then you take the action step anyway, once you're able to refocus your mind on that vision. So identify the negative way of thinking, pause it, interrupt it, focus on the positive action, and take the action.
I am absolutely in love with the merging of psychology and biology, and then how it all translates to our future. This is just chock full of great information. Thank you so very, very much. Um,
You're
you know,
welcome. It
one,
helps me in my own life. And I tell my clients all the time, everything that I coach my clients on, I do myself on a daily basis. And I have a 13-year-old son who I've been coaching him since he was like 2. You can do anything you put your mind to. The sky's the limit. And now I hear him telling his friends the same thing. So I'm like, yes, it worked. He's listening.
well, but you know, it's absolutely true. The more that we speak something, the more we believe it. And the more that we believe it, the more we start to share it with other people. This power of positive self thought, just thinking to ourselves. But I want to really highlight the mindfulness that you just really spoke about. Just like thinking about your thinking. Don't just go through life just thinking these, like you said, these mostly negative thoughts from the past. Take control of your thoughts and then take action. This is great.
And people don't realize how much our thoughts and feelings affect our reality. So I'm writing a book called Behind the Screen, and it's really
Mm,
about this screen or this veil between our conscious and subconscious mindset. What you're conscious of is what you're paying attention to. And they say we only utilize less than 10% of our brain's capacity. The 10% of our brain's capacity that we're utilizing is our consciousness. It's where your attention is going. But where you're not paying attention to is your subconscious mind. And we have what's called a reticular activating system in our brain. And what that does is it filters in through your conscious and subconscious that which you're paying attention to. So, for instance, you buy a new car and now you start driving your new car on the road, and all of a sudden you start to see that car everywhere,
right.
right? They didn't just automatically manufacture a bunch of those cars in your area. No, it's your reticular activating system was turned on to then pay attention to that because you're aware of it. So then, we have so much stimulus that goes through our brains that um, you know, we can't always pay attention to all of it, but our subconscious develops it all. We still hear things when we're sleeping. So that's our subconscious mind. That's the 90% of your brain's capacity that us as humans, we still don't know how to really work with yet. But I feel that science and psychology and neuroscience is starting to come up with the important facts that your thoughts and feelings actually are a projection of your own internal state of being. So if you want to change your actions or results, you got to go internally and you got to look at your way of thinking and feeling. And when you can get control over that, you can then affect your life, you can affect your relationships, you can affect your career, you can affect everything. But it's all about being conscious of what's going on up here. And it's so important. I've been doing this for 2 years. It's changed my life. I believe in my dreams. I take action in the absence of knowing how, and I have never not accomplished something I've set out to accomplish. So it's a testimony that this stuff really does work.
Absolutely. This is gospel truth. Thank you so much for sharing all of this awesome information. We are nearing the end of our time, but is there any advice that you want to leave us with?
I do. Please, please, please go after what you're passionate about. Just like I said at the beginning, don't just chase the money. And, I have a friend of mine who just graduated high school and he wanted to be a dentist. And I said, why do you want to be a dentist? And he's like, well, because they make $100,000 a year. Or do you really care about that? No, I just want to make a lot of money. And I'm like, oh, if I could
Mm,
just get through to you. So please, do some soul searching inside of yourself and go after that which you feel brings you passion. Because I'll tell you this, when you get into the workforce, you're going to work 40 to 50, 60 to 70 hours a week, depending upon which profession you get into. You will spend more time with the people at work than you will spend with your family and potentially your kids later on down the road. And you don't want to get into a job where you're working 50 hours a week that doesn't make you happy, because then you're going to be miserable inside. You're going to wake up and you're going to, dread going to work, and life just isn't going to be good. You have the power right now to make the decision. So the advice I leave is just please go after what you're passionate about, what brings you happiness, what brings you joy, what makes you feel more alive in this lifetime, and go that route. Don't just go after the dollar bills.
Ms. Schmidt, thank you so very much for sharing with us. I really appreciate it. And I know that this information is going to be helpful and uplifting to all of our students. I have been um, flashing your contact information below, but if anyone wants to see it, I put it up there one more time. She is a great resource for all of us. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to her, shoot her an email, visit her website. She only gave us three of the tips, only three of the principles. So there's so much more. So if you want to get a little bit deeper into this, make sure that you give her an email. Okay.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And again, it's just my passion to try to plant these seeds and help really, inspire, empower, engage our youth to find the truth in who they are and really go after their dreams. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. And thank you all for watching. This is our first series in Dream December. We hope to see you next week. Bye bye.